Choo, 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 choo. Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining me. Oh, hi, neighbor. It's Monday, April 28th, and it's still actually 9 a.m. here in Los Angeles, despite the minor delays that I have experienced. Now it's 9:01 here in Los Angeles. We're going to have a fun, loosey-goosey Monday show because it's Monday, April 28th, AD 2025. Lord. 30 seconds later. And so let's have a fun time. We have... Oh, that's interesting. We have a whole lot of mess going on in the world, not the least of which is Hake right here. We're going to have a good time right now, guys. We have our greatest president is putting signs in the lawn of the White House lawn, that is. And those signs say things like such and such illegal's name. R word of a child arrested and deported. He's putting signs of these illegals in the lawn, on the White House lawn, proving that they are indeed bad hombres. Bad hombres. And mujeres. Bad mujeres, too. Bad ladies. Shout out to the mujeres. So nice. Our greatest president doing his job. And they're fighting against him and they're stopping him in places. But that's only exposing their own evil. And hey, Trump has a can-do attitude. He's going to make it happen. He's not just going to roll over and be like, "Oh, I can't do it because they're stopping me." No. I'm acquiescing to the fact that he won't be able to get all this stuff done because of, all the opposition. I already knew that. Calm down, California Viking. Calm yourself. You got timed out early on the JLP show stream. And other stuff going on in the world. That woman got her purse stolen. That's funny to me. Kristi Noem. She's so cool. Not to me, though. Yes, I should be live. Let me make sure. Yes, I should be live, Gary. Sir. What's your T levels, Hake? I'm live on multiple platforms. I don't think my BitChute is live. No, it's not. But it's okay. Nobody watches there anyway. I'm angling to start up on another platform that Pastor Chatelet and some others told me about. So I'll let you guys know about that other platform. But I'm also live on punchy.tv/Hake. That is the go-to if you want chill vibes. Very calm chat over there for the most part. Punchy.tv/Hake. We do have Punchy TV coming up today. Punchy TV with Joel, Nick, Hake. That's Joel Friday, Let me make sure that I'm live on Facebook and X. Yep, indeed. Okay, so what else is going on besides Trump putting the signs out? Spreading awareness to far-left degenerate Washington, D.C. I heard that the spirit around D.C., if you will, if that's a fair thing, is better. And that's nice to hear. Because it is dark, swampy, degenerate in D.C. Where is the Kennedy Center? Do you guys know? Because I heard that our greatest president, Trump, he cleaned up the Kennedy Center area and made it nicer. So not only is he putting signs on the lawn that he's cleaning up America, he's also cleaning up the LGBT excess agenda displays at the Kennedy Center. Not he himself personally, but the people the supposed loyalists whom he's appointed. They're not pushing the gay agenda, which is a good thing for all. It's good for all, honestly. It's friendlier for all, honestly. Shout out. So we have signs on the lawn, and the Kennedy Center is better, not bitter. Wherever the Kennedy Center is. Anyway, we can take your calls, 1-888-775-3773. If you mosey on over to the Hake Report, you can see some of this stuff. Let's see here. Let me see here. Oh, wow. Is that where I am? Nice. Okay, so we are here at the beach. Not actually the beach. Uh-oh, don't show the surfer, dude. We don't want to dox. And we're going to have fun. Joel Friday is back. He was out Friday because he's never live on Fridays, so I'm going to be starting on time. I'm going to be ending on time to make sure that he can get in there. I will take your calls, 1-888-775-3773. And I will get to your super chats as well if you'd like to super chat. You can go to thehakereport.com to find out the different ways to super chat. The one I primarily look at, the one that's probably the most popular is buymeacoffee.com/thehakereport. Jules is saying that, I do try to read your live chat. In the live chat, Jules is saying Democrats will still be pushing the gay crap Hake any way they can. It will still be pushed in schools. It's a lost cause. I'm saying it's a lost cause. I agree, Jules. Nice. But to diminish the vulgarness, yeah, I know. It's kind of like fighting CRT, critical race theory, in schools, and DEI. That ship has sailed a bit, but it's a little bit of an awakening for some. So it's nice. When evil goes too far, does it wake you up? Does it wake anybody up? It can be sort of eye-opening. It's like a little warning. It's like a little shake you. Hey, wake up. This is not right. It's not right. So I agree, Jules. I know. Yeah. It's kind of like saying, whatever, It's still, yeah. The battle, evil never stops attacking. It's not going to stop. That's true. Anyway, the lines are filling up. You can call in. We're going to get started here. So anyway, guys, let's just get right on with the show.
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la.
Hey, guys!
Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la.
So, how you guys doing? I am fine. Have my little snake shirt on. It's like a cobra snake. It resembles, because it's a yellow t-shirt. I won't tell you where I got it, which is telling you where I got it. It looks kind of like the Gadsden flag, the don't tread on me, hate flag, white supremacist flag. It's not any of those things. It's just the Tea Partiers liked to use it. But nice. Once again, you can call in 1-888-775-3773. Pretty fancy, huh? You like this little you like this thing? Follow Hake's finger. 888-775-37 oh Lord. 73. I cracked myself up. CSAL in Texas is on the line here, I think. CSAL, are you there?
I am, and my children are in the background being super loud. I'm sorry, Hake.
That was good timing. That's funny. No, that's proof that the kids do catch Hake. Or they may
really do.
inadvertently hear it anyway.
They really do.
Yeah.
They really do. Thank you for taking my call. Hey, ¿cómo estás?
Bien, ¿y tú or y usted? I don't know how I'm supposed to say it.
I'm great. Both of those are okay.
Nice.
The usted is more respectful, which is usually used for somebody older than you.
Oh, okay. And you may or may not be older than me. We don't dox.
Heck,
we don't dox. We don't dox the ages.
No, the same thing is to always assume I'm younger, bro.
Oh, my bad.
No, I'm joking. I'm joking. But no, I am younger than you. Anyway,
nice.
My mom told me, because it's hard for me to like keep up with the news and stuff. My mom told me that, what's her name? La lady?
Kristi Noem.
In charge of Kristi Noem. Hake, I started using purses and high heels to go to church when I was 14 years old. Not high heels, obviously, but dressing like a lady since I was 14.
Yeah.
Hake, I have never lost my purse, not once. Not even when I was 14 years old.
You weren't a airheaded person.
I was going to say, it's so plain to see these women should not be in these positions of what is she?
She's the Secretary of Homeland Security, the Department of Homeland Security. She's the top head honcho-S woman of it.
Hey, as a woman, I can tell you, your purse is the most important. It's an extension of you. It's where you have everything. Like, without your purse, you're lost. How on earth could she lose? If you can lose a purse, where's your brain at? Like, where's your mind?
So what happened was, I haven't read too deeply into the story, but from the headline that I read on CNN today, they said that she had it on the table at an Easter event, at a dinner or breakfast or brunch or something. And it was in Washington, D.C., and they believe that the suspect was seated at a table next to her. And they've also arrested, or I think, somebody in Miami who's an accomplice. So I don't know if this was planned or after the fact. I don't know if they even knew who she was. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't. I don't know whether they planned it or it was spontaneous. But they seem to have done some credit card fraud on her. I don't know, maybe used her credit cards. She had $3,000 in cash and some makeup, some prescription, medication or whatever, and other things. Her DHS badge, Department of Homeland Security badge, security clearance thingy. It's crazy. I don't know if she knew that they stole it right away and he just ran, or if she realized later, as you seem to be suggesting, that she thought she lost it.
I don't know either. Maybe she didn't realize immediately, but then again, I'm like, how do you not immediately know that your purse is gone? That's crazy. Maybe they stole it. You're right. That could have happened. Maybe they stole it.
It's tough being a woman. I'm glad I'm not a woman. All the things that you have to think about. You have to watch where you go at night. Of course, I have to watch where I go at night too, but to a lesser extent. I'm not as much of a target as a gal, and I'm not quite as helpless usually as a gal. And then there's these things like you don't have pockets that you can keep your cell phone and
I know
and wallet in. What a mess.
Yeah, well, physically we're completely helpless physically, and mentally anymore. Well, now that I do, in a lot of areas, we're kind of helpless. But it was, I was just thinking, why can't Trump put a capable man in that job? That's the only thing I don't like about Trump. I love my president and I pray for him every day.
Yeah.
The only thing that I have a little bit against him is like, there's so many smart, powerful, experienced men. Why can't you put a man in that job is the only thing I would say.
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know. He's always been like this. It's not like we got a bait and switch. Are you surprised that he's appointing them? Because
no.
Yeah, because
it's the only thing I disagree with him.
I think about Omarosa. He put her. She was, I think, influential even in his organization, in his Trump organization, even before, if I'm not mistaken, even before the his first administration. So he's always been very nice to women, pro women, putting them in, hiring them and stuff like that. So, I don't know.
Well, he's playing. I can see how what he's doing is super smart. He's playing the long game. He's making sure that he gets elected. That's, and by putting women in positions of power, because we're like 50% of the voters. He's ensuring that they're gonna somewhat vote for him. So he's doing the right thing, I guess.
Yeah.
Is what got him voted. So in the long run, I think it's a good thing.
Maybe, I don't know. It's I can't judge it either way. I do think it's a mess. It's kind of like what Reagan did some stuff. He was supposedly a good president, and I tend to believe the people who believe he was overall a good president. But he did some things that did some damage to the country, too. And that may end up being the case with Trump, too. I love his spirit alone, the spirit that he displays, the can-do attitude. That is, like Ann Coulter said, Ann Coulter vulgarly said that he could perform abortions in the White House. And I disagree, of course, but like a lot of this stuff doesn't matter to me as much as his realness is bringing the light.
The big picture. Yeah.
So, I don't want to make excuses or anything about him appointing these gals. It reminds me of this Memphis, Tennessee police chief woman who got her gun stolen out of her front seat in her car when she was in the liquor store or something.
Oh my God.
These women.
What a freaking retard. Oh, I'm sorry. I can't say that. Sorry.
That's funny. That's really funny.
Oh, wow. Well, I mean, we're here and we're not going. We can't, take the vote away. I wish we could take the vote away. Women shouldn't be voting.
Yeah.
They don't even know what the heck they're doing. But thank God for Trump for sure. It was so beautiful waking up this morning and seeing all the mugshots on the White House lawn.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, it's like Christmas every morning.
That's so refreshing to show the truth about what's going on. And, the media wants to hide it. They don't want to promote it, but they can't help but do it. So.
Right. Yeah. Yes. Well, anyway, thank you, Hake. Can I give a shout out to my beautiful snake pit?
Nice. Yes, indeed. Shout out to the snake pit.
Shout out to the snake pit. Anyway, thank you, Hake. Bye.
All right. Take care. CSAL from Texas. Right on. This is a little picture of those mugshots. Arrested. Arrest MSLSD. Even MSNBC is covering the pictures on the lawn. Let me show this to you real quick, before we get back to the calls. What's this say? S-word assault of a child. Oops. S-word battery on a child. These are two different guys. Third mugshot, S-word assault. Fourth mugshot, murder. Another S-word assault, S-word being sexual. Assault on a child. And on and on and on it goes. All lining the driveway, I guess, into the White House on the lawn. And it's a striking image. There have been striking images coming from the Trump administration, right? Arrested. Distribution of fentanyl. Arrested. R-word of a child. And it says illegal alien. It does. So they show a picture, but they don't name the person. Because God knows what the names really are. I have friends, illegal friends, who they call me and then there's some other name. Terrible. I wonder how much this cost. It was probably done on the cheap because we're all about efficiency now with the government. S with a minor, sexual contact with a child, child molestation, distribution of fentanyl, first-degree murder, all these different, and some of them are white-looking, some of them are Latino, more like Indian, American Indian looking. Some are black looking. All the different races of illegal aliens. Shout out to the illegals. We love the illegals, even those accused of this horrible stuff. But all too common among these outside cultures. And becoming more and more common, I dare say, here in America, not just because of them, but because of the getting rid of the families and marriages and bringing in shamelessness. Terrible, huh? Woo. Shout out. Let me get to Jaime in Minnesota. Oh, Jaime dropped. That's okay. Let me get to Josh in Georgia on the line over here. Josh in Georgia. Thanks for calling, man.
Oh. Hey, no problem. Thanks for having me, man.
Nice.
Yes, sir. Yeah, man. Wanted to just talk about the just double-mindedness in making real life situations, or real life decisions,
Okay.
Like getting married and buying a house, and that was pretty deep to me. The fellowship yesterday, and I don't know if you it's like, would you say, do you want to get married?
I don't know. I kind of,
right.
I don't know.
Right. Same with me. So it's
and
like,
since I was a kid, I didn't know. I was like, I remember crying, lying over this girl that I liked in like, I don't know what grade. I was like 9, maybe 4th grade.
Yeah.
But then when I came to for a second, I'm like, wait a minute. It's not like I want to get married. and so I'm like, what am I crying about? I'm worked up over nothing. And isn't that interesting? You get worked up because you get an idea that you cling on to or that clings on to you.
Right.
And it misdirects your whole life and what you think is important.
Right. And that's the double-mindedness. One part of your mind thinks that, because I grew up just the same. I thought I was always going to get married.
Okay.
And now here I am, about to be 40, and I don't. It just didn't happen. It's something I don't want to force.
Right.
It's something that I don't. I don't think I have control over it. If God puts the right one here in front of me, then okay. But I'm not jumping into it.
Right. Yeah.
So, yeah. So it's like, is that being double-minded? It seems like I'm in the same situation as you. Like I don't know.
Right.
But it's not double-minded to say I don't know.
Right.
It's just
because that's like way into it's double-minded to think that you do or
that you do.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, it's if you know that you have this sense that you want to, you don't want to pretend like you don't or whatever. But that's like getting ahead of yourself. I actually disagree with the people who think that you should date with the goal of marrying, because the goal isn't necessarily to marry. What you're doing is you're hanging out with this gal, dating her or whatever, getting to know her, and you're hanging out with her just because, ego, really. Because you like her, and she likes you, seems to like you well enough. And so, nice. And just stay present rather than getting ahead of yourself and trying to force something to happen or force her to be what you want to be or get all crazy. I think it's... That's messy.
Women, they're notorious. I don't think women can help it. They're notorious for planning ahead and trying to set up, a husband in marriage.
Yeah.
But it's like, and I am too. That sounds crazy to not want to date without the intent of marriage.
Well, that's
unchristian.
Well, it's only unchristian if you're like having sex or something out of wedlock.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's what most guys do.
Right.
And that's what I did most of my dating life. I've never really dated because you want a girl that's attractive, but I've never really. I think I may in this. Now that I'm older, I may start dating just without even caring what she looks like, or just to get to know myself.
Huh. I mean, if say you meet a girl, a gal, because we date grown women, of course.
All right.
And you want to hang out with her, and she doesn't mind hanging out with you, go for it.
Yeah.
And just stay with that moment.
Interesting. Yeah, just stay with the moment. That's what it's all about.
And then when it makes sense, if and when it ever makes sense to marry, feels like it would be when you deem it's ready, time to marry. There was a statement that Anchor Baby said months ago, maybe a year ago. Anchor Baby's like, gals. He doesn't say gals, ladies. Men will marry when they're darn ready. He didn't say darn. He said because he's
beaver dam
yeah. And that made a lot of sense because a lot of times the girls are more eager to marry than the man is.
Yeah, they have a lot of pressure on them.
Yeah,
I
understand it.
I understand. Yeah,
and the men have kind of the opposite pressure. They have the pressure.
Yeah.
They have the pressure to make sure before you just fly off the handle and get into it with this gal. So, yeah. I get that there's a lot of guys who are living selfishly. That's not what I'm for. Even though it is sort of selfish to date in the first place. Because why are you dating her? Because you like being around her. Right.
You fit in. It's cool. It's nice to show people that, hey, this is my girl, and
That's why you watch yourself and not feed that ego in the midst of it.
Right.
Because she's gonna pick up that you're all about yourself, I think. And
and she'll hate you for that, or she'll resent you. Yeah.
Yeah. Then hopefully, eventually, she'll leave. For her sake and yours.
That's what's happened to me in all my relationships, basically.
Nice.
Yeah. But I was about the F word, I was about that. So women judge. They pick up on that and they know it, and it eventually doesn't work out.
What's funny is that the breakup isn't sad. The breakup is the best thing for all involved. I was at some place overhearing this black guy. Incidentally, he was a black guy.
Yeah.
He was like intervening in a breakup, in a relationship that was dysfunctional and destroyed and gone. And this guy was moping around, and he just struck up the conversation, got on the phone with the guy's girl on the guy's phone, FaceTimed her and talked, and basically mended, quote unquote, the relationship, or at least to where they could see each other again that evening.
Yeah.
And,
oh boy.
And I'm like, and I heard about another gal walked up and explained to me the situation, I'm like, this man should not have gotten involved. that was the best thing for both, not to be together, because you're just hiding from your own hell inside of hell with each other.
Yep. Yeah.
Terrible distraction.
Yeah. The devil wants to keep you in that hell.
Yeah.
He
A
doesn't want
breakup
you to-
is not sad. A breakup is
It's the opposite. It
yeah.
feels sad. It just feels sad, but it really it's the best thing that can happen to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's love.
Yeah.
Or closer to it anyway. Nice.
Yeah. And real quick, so would you say it's the same? I'd say it's like the same principle when buying a car or buying a house. It's like, obviously, but well, not necessarily, because you need. There are times when you need a roof over your head and you need a house, or you need a car, but it's still it's like you can do it out of ego too.
Yeah, big time.
And if you feel like you're getting a feeling just because you want to drive something nice, or you want to call yourself a homeowner, out of ego, then that's like a trap.
Yeah.
But if sometimes you run into a deal you can't refuse, like a steal of a deal, it's like you have no choice but to move on. And that's the only way I would, right now, my living situation, I don't need a house, but I keep a lookout,
Nice.
I talk to real estate agents every now and then, but I'm looking for a steal, I'm looking for someone's grandma who's died and they just got a house, they want to get rid of it, That's all I'm looking for. I'm not trying to pay full price just to get it as soon as possible,
Huh.
I'm trying to go to an auction,
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Maybe don't even have a mindset about, I want to get a great deal on a house necessarily.
Right? Oh, really? That could be a trap too, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, it just seems like it's an offer. If it's an offer you can't refuse, if I had a kid, I would probably need a house, and that's when, okay, whatever, you even got no choice. You need somewhere to put a roof over your kid's head. But if other than that, it's like, do nothing until you have no choice. That's why I'll probably call later about the biblical question, but it's like, it ain't my decision. You just live a whole life of just observing, keeping an eye out. But wanting for something is like a setup, every time to me.
Nice. Sort of. Yeah, I agree.
So I don't know. Yeah, that's it. Okay. But yeah, that, maybe, and you can overthink this stuff too. So
definitely,
it's simple. It's simple is the bottom line.
That's
simplicity.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, right on, Josh. Wish you wish you well in your confusion over whether you want to buy a house.
It's just like I don't know. Would you get? It's just like marriage to me. If it comes, it comes. If not, I don't need one.
Right.
But
like a hole in the head.
I sense the pressure. I sense the double-mindedness, and that's the important part. Lieutenant's trying to steer you in the wrong way constantly, so that's the main thing to focus on, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The lieutenant, the thoughts, it's crazy.
Thoughts. Yep.
What a mess.
Yeah.
Thank you, Josh.
Okay. Thanks for the call, man. Thank you.
Appreciate it. All right.
Yes, sir. Bye-bye.
Bye. And William, number 7, is on the line over here. William, thanks for calling. Are you there?
I am here, Hake.
Hey.
However, how is my connection? I'm in the middle of nowhere again. Hopefully,
I can understand you. It's a little trebly. It has a little bit of a treble. You don't have much bass to your voice, but just stay close to the phone. Are you on regular phone? No speaker, no Bluetooth, no headset, no AirPods?
How about this? It's just a little better, Hake.
Yeah, I think it'll work. Let's do it. Let's try.
All right. I'm just putting some bass in my voice, you know what I'm saying?
I shouldn't have told you that.
I know. Anyway, hey, there's a question I've been meaning to ask you. And I always forget because we get talking. But you know, in the beginning of the show, when you're setting up, before you go, let's get right on with the show, before all that?
Yeah.
You know when you make that sound effect?
Yeah.
Is that from the Matrix when Neo is dodging the bullets? Is
No.
that the sound effect you have in mind?
No.
That's what it sounds like.
That's funny. No, William 7. It's Star Wars and G.I. Joe laser gun noises.
Oh, it's you as a kid playing with.
It's the lightsaber and the laser gun.
All right. Well, I guess incorrectly. So that's that. So anyway.
But hey, I'll take it. I'll take it. The whatever.
It was just a gee whiz. I don't know. But anyway, I was calling mainly because I watched y'all's church yesterday, and there was a comment about, I think, Daniel or whatever, and JLP had asked you about this lady's comment and that you were distracted. He had to repeat it.
Right. About
the lady saying that, well, they can do all this mess and they know that they're going to be forgiven because God's a forgiving God. And I did not hear this parsed out that well. But what I think is that is not our God. That is not the God who just thinks he's going to forgive you, even though you're doing, like, and I don't know, she didn't say what stuff, like, I don't know if she was talking about the Ten Commandments or being, like, mean to people, but I think there's a difference between sins and transgression. Sin is, as you may know, is the archery term, meaning missing the mark. And so basically when you're aiming for something, right, if you miss, that's one thing that you were trying. And so God doesn't get upset if you're honestly trying your best. And so I think it means doing the right thing in all instances, whether it's physical stuff, mental stuff, spiritual stuff. It's just doing the right thing. And I think if you make mistakes out of ignorance, God even says in the, I don't know if it's the Old or New Testament, he winks at that because we're human. He knows our frame. So I think the fact that someone's under the belief they can just cause ruckus and just, I would say that's transgression. God doesn't forgive people who are not trying, and he knows their heart. So that's what I think is the gospel being perverted today, kind of like everyone thinks Jesus is God. It's just been a perversion that's just gotten stronger and stronger. And that lady's statement, it was a fair statement for you. So I don't know. What do you think about that? Did I explain that right, or what do you think?
I don't know if you explained it right, because that's sort of the understanding of a lot of Christians that, oh, as long as we're trying, then he'll forgive us. But I don't think that's right.
Well, what do you mean? I mean, so we'd have to ask that lady what she was getting at, because I'm not in her head. But when her statement was that people, like, why would they even want to try if they know in the end God's going to forgive them? But that is not a biblical principle.
I prefer to ponder about myself and not other people, because other people are not my concern. You know what I mean?
That's true, but it was, you guys were, I mean, again, I was there. I watched, and there's times I wish I was there so I could interact, but I can't. Remember, I even called, like, where can I either start my own or find a place here where I live that's doing what you guys are doing, you know, when you gather and you're honestly working on yourself, you know?
No, I'm saying, talking about people and their hearts and trying to judge their hearts and saying, oh, I'm forgiven anyway. I know within myself that that's not how I should live. And it's not my concern whether somebody else is living that way or not, because I don't know what's going on in their hearts and minds, or even what they're really doing.
Okay, but doesn't the scripture say you'll know their hearts by the fruit that they produce? And they don't mean like we're sprout, like there's a plum hanging off my arm. It means, what do we produce? Is it kindness, love? Is it, you know?
Right,
like,
but that's not the purpose of. But that's not the purpose of knowing them by their fruit, or knowing their heart by what's coming out of their mouth.
Well, it was an analogy given by the Lord.
No, I know, but that's not the purpose of it. I don't think to try to deem whether God's going to forgive them or not.
You will know their heart by their fruits.
Right.
What else would that mean?
It doesn't mean that you're going to know whether God's forgiving them or not.
Oh no,
and it doesn't mean that.
Absolutely.
And I think it's a total. I think it's a total mistake to pretend, oh, God's going to forgive me because I'm trying.
Well, no, she was actually. I don't know who the lady was, but she was the one implying that. I'm actually disputing against that.
Oh, but you said that you think that God will forgive you if you're trying, and not if you are willfully sinning, they say. Because the Christians say, oh, there's a difference between sinning and willfully sinning and making a practice of sinning. And I don't know. I think that's a trap.
I think we've both heard that in our upbringing.
Right, and I think that's fake news.
It may be, but I do want to touch base on the three types of people that are mentioned in the scriptures. There's those who are God, there's those who are Satan, and there's those who are just ignorant, just haven't fully grasped the truth yet. You can't expect a child to know all things. They must be taught. And that's why the patience of God is way greater than any of us. So, yeah, I would say if Jesus came to save sinners, if that was the case, that means he came to tell us something we weren't being told by their parents, by the Pharisees of the day, and that was that the kingdom of God is from within.
Yeah, and Jesus said to stop sinning.
Yes, and why would he tell you? And why would he tell you something that was impossible? That makes him a liar.
Yeah.
So that's just cementing my position.
Yeah, he didn't say try to stop.
I might not have stated it well. Forgive me, Hake. I'm just a man, old brown slow one.
Right. He didn't say try to stop.
No, you're right. In fact, that's what Yoda said. There is no try. There's do.
Was that Yoda or was that Bruce Lee?
No, he went.
Or both.
No. Wait, what did he say?
Never mind.
There is no try.
I only like the laser guns. Yoda was cute.
All right, well, that's it. He was funny. I mean,
Yeah.
But all right, well, I guess that's it for now. It was pretty cool watching y'all.
Yeah.
Maybe one day I'll make a I don't know, it's about 7 hours to drive down there to LA.
7 hours?
Where I live.
Oh, okay.
Yes, sir.
You're up in NorCal.
Yes, sir. Way
Nice.
above Sacramento, like 2.5 hours north of Sacramento.
Wow. That is up there.
Yeah.
Eureka.
Really?
I found it.
Why Eureka or Eureka?
Is that how it's pronounced? Does anybody pronounce it that way? Is that a correct pronunciation?
There's two towns. I-5 goes through Yreka, and then Eureka with the E is on the coast.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So, but one of these days, I want to meet Raymond because I hear him so much. It's funny. I mean, I knew what his answer was going to be. No. When he asked some of the biblical questions.
Nice.
I knew he was going to say no. It's funny. But anyway, all right, well, I'm going to let you go.
Thank you, man.
Thanks for picking up my call, Hake. And God bless you. And maybe one day I'll make a trip down there.
Yeah. Sounds good, man. Appreciate it.
All right, man.
All right.
Peace out.
Bye. Before I get back to the calls, let's check out a little bit more of the news over here. because there's mess going on in the world. Oh, let me remember to turn that off because the phone number was covering my face, or at least my torso or something. If you mosey on over to thehakereport.com and you check out the Hake Report update for today, the Kennedy Center, like I mentioned, is less LGBTQ plus under our greatest President Trump. And where is the Kennedy Center? I don't even know. But they used to have a rainbow of colored lights. And it cast a reflection of joy, they said. Which is not true. Not real joy. This is by Jade Walker. And pride in the water. Our greatest president is the new chairman of the Kennedy Center. And he took over and he replaced most of the board with loyal people rather than disloyal people who are disloyal to the United States and loyal to Satan. The center's programming is changed, no longer friendly, quote unquote, or at least not an ally, because that's a communist buzzword, a fiend, for those celebrating the LGBTQ so-called rights or culture, credulously written propaganda euphemisms by Jade Walker for Common Nonsense. The Kennedy, shout out, she's one of my producers, by the way, effectively. The Kennedy Center's quietly canceled a week's worth of events for this summer's World Pride Festival. Some events such as the display of parts of the AIDS memorial quilt plan to move to different venues. AIDS is that one disease, you've heard of it. If you're from the 80s or 90s, it was a big deal back then. Kennedy Center's LGBTQ plus so-called Pride events canceled, according to CNN Politics and the far-left extremist off-the-deep-end gay agenda Associated Press, AP. Shout out. Doesn't that would look nice if it weren't for what it stood for. And uniform colors are probably better anyway. But we're looking at Washington, D.C.'s so-called Kennedy Center with rainbow lighting back in 2021. Wow. 2021 December. That was under Crooked Joe. Evil Joe Biden. Has he repented? Who knows? Organizers in the Kennedy Center have canceled a week's worth of events. Isn't that nice? Very nice. We are a resilient community. We have found other avenues to celebrate, said this person, June Crenshaw. Oh yeah, you're so resilient, so persecuted. Give me a break. The whole world, meaning the whole Hollywood, the whole rest of the government, including this part of the including most of the Republicans, are all overly friendly to you guys. So resilient. You're so resilient. Just call you the next persecuted Cernovich or persecuted Groypers or persecuted whatever. What a mess. You're so resilient. You're not getting spoiled and propped up in this, what is the Kennedy Center? Oops. Why is it all caps? Boomer. Is that named after JFK? I wonder how Robert Kennedy feels about his name being soiled. Wow, Kennedy Care Center on Fairfax. What? John F. Kennedy Center for Performing Arts. Oh, okay. Well, a lot of those people are... The performing arts people, a lot of them are kind of like that. Not totally straight, morally speaking. Look at that. They're still on their website, though. It's horrible. What a mess. Anyway, that's just a little bit of good news for you guys. Anyway, that's not that important, honestly. Iran, their port exploded. Did you hear about that? Iran, its port exploded. Look at that. One of their ports. Crazy explosion. Look at this container. It's like dented and stuff under maybe, I don't know, the heat expansion or something. Crazy. Heavy smoke rises from the scene of an explosion at Shahid Raji Port Dock, southwest of Bandar Abbas. Crazy. Crazy, crazy. Thinking about it. The cause is unknown, at least it was as of early this morning, late last night. It would have happened, I don't know what time of day. Oh, it happened over the weekend. 40 people killed, more than 1,000 injured. What a mess. Hazardous goods. It reminds me of, there was an explosion in, where's that place that's like really bad? It's like in Lebanon or Beirut. I feel like Beirut explosion. 2020 Beirut explosion. I feel like 218 fatalities, 7,000 injuries, 300,000 displaced individuals. Property damage estimated at how much? $15 billion. Woo, that is crazy. Major explosion in Beirut, Lebanon. Chemical. Ammonium nitrate. Yikes. 2,750 tons. And I don't know why they spell it all foreign. Tonnes instead of tons. But sort of reminds me of that, but not as big. Remember that? Whew. Generated a seismic event, a 3.3 magnitude earthquake, per U.S. Geological Survey. Felt in Lebanon and even Syria and Israel and Cyprus. Crazy. Shockwave disrupted the Earth's ionosphere. That was 5 years ago, roughly. The Beirut explosion. A stockpile of hazardous goods and chemical materials stored in the port area. So watch out. Crazy. And one more quick news item. The Vancouver attack. It was not a white man. I kind of knew that it wasn't going to be a white. It was an attack on Filipinos. Kaiji Adam Low, age 30. Rammed his car into a bunch of people, I guess, at the Lapu Lapu Day Festival in Vancouver, Canada. Suspect charged with murder over the Vancouver Filipino Festival car ramming. Victims were ages 5 to 65. How many people did it kill again? Let's see. 11 people. At least 11 people. Some are still in like critical condition, I believe. Dozens more injured. Car plowed into a crowd at a street festival celebrating Filipino heritage in Canada. A mess. Police are calling it the darkest day in the city's history. Attendees helped chase down and detain the suspect, Kaiji Adam Low, a resident of Vancouver, arrested at the scene, had a history of so-called mental health-related interactions with authorities. The mentally ill people don't commit crimes. Angry people do, and anger causes both mental illness and violence, depending on the situation. When many different symptoms, including this LGBT mess, causes that. Anger causes that. Crazy. I knew a Filipino. He was, what was he? He was Jehovah's Witness. He used to argue with me about the Trinity because I'm like, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Duh, it's right there in the Bible. And he was like, I don't know what he meant, and I don't know what I meant. But that was in like 7th and 8th grade. He thought he was he thought he was Mexican. And then later he decided he thought he was Bruce Lee. Mixed people, what are you going to do? Because Filipinos are mixed, part Spanish and part Asian Pacific Islander, whatever that is. Shout out. I've known some Filipinos. Looked like a war zone, bodies lying on the street. A family-friendly event. It's not like it was the middle of the night, early in the morning, degenerate partying down in New Orleans, you know? Which, that's not good either. This was just a nice little liberal diversity foreigner event in Canada. Crazy. I want to see who this guy is real quick. Do they have an image of him? Is that him? Oh no. Aw. Look at him. Pray for this messed up man, allegedly messed up suspect, and of course the people. What a mess, huh? Whew. So, yeah, he looks. What's funny is you look at a person, and if you know something about this, supposedly about the person, you're like, oh, that makes sense. Doesn't he look like a little bit off? Filipino. I wonder why it's spelled with an F if Philippines is with a PH. So we don't know the motive. We don't know if it's terrorism. We don't know if it's a girlfriend. Remember in China, there was a man who was like in his 60s or something, drove into a crowd, maybe 50s, drove into a crowd of fellow Chinese because of a divorce mess. Sounds like what the men are going through over here in America. All over the world, men under attack. And they're turning into messed up individuals, allegedly. Aww. He looks like one of my friends from 5th grade, 2nd grade, kindergarten, 1st grade. Except my friend was not Filipino. And he didn't have a mustache that I can recall in 5th grade. 10 years old, you know. Terrible. So there's a whole lot of mess going on in the world. Let me get back to the calls, and we'll check for your super chats. It's the top of the hour here. Okay? Kyle in Massachusetts is on the phone here. Kyle, thank you for calling and holding, man. What's up?
Hello.
Hey.
Hake, you there?
Yeah, of course.
How's it going, Hake? How you doing?
It's going well, Kyle. It's been a little while.
Yeah, it's been a little bit, a couple weeks or so, or maybe I'm off on that. But yeah, hope you've been having a good morning into the evening. I was gonna just ask about. I want to say first, stay diligent, patriots. You know, and stay patriotic, stay upright, and Christ fearing, and just stay steadfast, everyone out there. But for real though. But what are your thoughts on on a serious note? What are your thoughts on? So I called in to ask on Bitcoin. So I have an idea of what Bitcoin is and what it is going to do and what it means for us. I just want to get your kind of opinion on it overall as a technology and also as something that could do something in the world, like what it may open up for us, I guess.
I think it's pretty cool how creative and clever computer engineer type, I don't know, people came up with something and turned it into something useful and valuable. I remember hearing that some guy bought pizza with Bitcoin. I don't know how many Bitcoins it cost him to buy pizza, but had he held that Bitcoin, it would be much more valuable today. But had he and everybody else held that Bitcoin, what value would it have gained? You gotta use it for it to gain value, right? A little bit. So it's pretty cool. Nice.
Pretty expensive pizza for him, sounds like.
Yeah, I mean, with inflation, Bitcoin's value has inflated. But that's good.
Yeah,
But that's kind of a good thing, right? Oh no, has the value inflated?
Now.
No, it's not inflation.
Oh, no.
The Bitcoin
right.
has gotten stronger.
It was funny. Right. Yeah.
The strength of the coin has gotten stronger, whereas the strength of the dollar has gotten weaker in the same amount of time.
But that is funny. I don't know if you meant to say it like that, but that is funny that Bitcoin's, it's so inflated these days. I can barely buy 1/100th of a Bitcoin. I'd have to sell my other car. And it's,
Wow, you have 2 cars.
Oh no.
Baller.
No, I don't even have one car.
Oh, okay.
I don't even have yeah, no. I mean, but yeah, no, I mean, it's funny because, I follow it a lot. I follow Peter Schiff. He's, I have, nothing but, he's just a full-blooded patriot. And, he could have saved us from a lot of people from the 2008 crisis. And, no one listened. But he thinks that Bitcoin is a bubble. But I think that, I don't know if he really believes that, but shout out Pete. It's great. But everyone in the Bitcoin sphere that does all the stats, these kids that are, younger than me and 28, they do their research and they go to really good schools, and they year after year they're right about Bitcoin's drops and peaks, and whether it's bull or bear, and it's just it's cool because it's still so early on. I think it's at 94 right now, so it's it's just cool to know that definitely the whole point is to do your own research on it, and it's not easy to. Some people can't abstract to understand what it is, but its market cap is still rising, and it's still early on, so it's just a cool thing. But I was going to say that.
How long has it been around? 25 years or 20 years or how long?
Yeah, 20 years. I think it's 20. It might around 20. It might be more than 20. Might be 25 or so.
January 3rd, 2009. Just before Obama came in and this was 1 year into Obama. Terrible.
Well, think about Obama.
No, this was just before Obama came in. So we were preparing for the destruction brought by Obama. Nice.
Yeah.
Somebody was.
Yeah. I mean,
it was was it made by a Japanese, or was it made by somebody who used a Japanese fake name?
So people have 5 ideas of
they don't know
could have made it. No one knows.
Okay.
And what people that really don't think probably at all that much throughout their lives, but that really don't think deeply about the overall, they don't look at the full picture when they're thinking about Bitcoin and when it was created and comparing it to other projects, and just kind of being able to abstract enough with their minds. They think that they always go to, but the government might have made it. And it's no, that's impossible. It's impossible that the government could have made it, and even if they did, it's already, which is impossible. It wouldn't even matter because they're scrambling to regulate it. So the whole thing is that.
What do you think about Trump? What do you think about Trump wanting to buy reserves of this stuff?
That's awesome.
Nice.
Awesome. I mean, so good.
Cool.
Yeah, I haven't really followed that one, but it's another quick
Had you
one
heard of it?
before I keep. I've heard people say that. Yeah, that's awesome. It's only it's just great. But no one's ever lost money, and everyone out there. I'm not saying to just, I'm saying do your own research, of course, but no one's ever lost money on Bitcoin. Anyone that's bought it and held it has never lost money on it.
Oh, okay.
There's like no other.
Because it goes up and down, but it goes up again further than what it was. You're saying,
right?
So far,
right? Yeah, it's like the whole thing is the volatility.
Well, like you said, it's still young.
So young. It's so young. It's so young, and the other part of it was just
somebody in the chat says the value is anonymity, but it's fully traceable.
Right, but everything else is traceable too. Like this call, your money, your checking account. I mean,
nice.
What does traceable mean? It's not illegal to own Bitcoin.
No, I don't think he was saying that takes away the value.
Oh, okay. All right, yeah. All right. Yeah. That's fair. My bad. But no, it's just wild.
Do you
because,
have? No, I'm not going to ask that. Never mind.
No. Fire away.
No, go ahead. Go ahead with your point. I don't know much about this topic, really.
Yeah, so it's like, well, here's one aspect that I was going to get to is that people have tried. People think that Bitcoin is this thing that can only happen on the internet, but it's a concept that could happen with, so Peter Schiff doesn't thinks it's impossible because it's not tangible in like it's not physical. But this is a concept that's been tried throughout history for like thousands throughout all time, and maybe it worked at some times. I'm not a historian, but it never, it never had it never had a more, or honestly, it's not an opinion, a 100% bulletproof way to work because of the internet. You know what I mean? And it's just, it's like, like when people, maybe in a monarchy or maybe in, your chat's definitely laughing at me, but because they, like someone works for someone has an army, someone, there's value exchange, but it's through like trust, which isn't tangible, right? So it's not like,
oh, so Bitcoin's going to go down then.
It's not gold. It's not, physical.
Last quick question.
Hold.
Kyle.
So it's like, but now with the internet, it's, this is the future, guys. So do your research and buy
Kyle,
Bitcoin once you.
The chat wants to know: are you fat or fit?
I'm a 280-pound man. No, I'm 150 pounds.
So does that mean you're fat or fit?
I'm fit. I'm fit.
Nice. Right on, man.
Fit. Yeah, man. No, I don't discriminate against the fats unless they're taking up too much space.
Right. Shout out to the fat and fit. We love all people.
Shout out the fats. Plenty of fats out there.
I gotta go, Kyle. Nice talking with you, man.
That I like? Yeah, hell yeah.
All right. Bye. Nice. And Mark in Los Angeles, California on the line here. Mark, what's up?
Yes, sir. Got a couple things. I'll just rattle this off first. Only 11% of Negro students in the Chicago city schools can read.
Wow. Okay. I didn't know it was that high.
Yeah, I know.
Shout out to the literate blacks and the illiterate ones.
Here's the kicker, though. Most of the average teacher in Chicago makes over $100,000 a year.
Wow!
And if you remember during COVID, I forgot her name. This nasty woman that heads the teachers union. She kept the schools closed with the teachers fully paid for nearly 2 years over COVID.
Oh yeah, that not morally straight. The public school union, teacher union. Weingarten, not a Christian, by the way. Shout out.
She's married to a woman.
So-called.
And, oh, God, is it disgusting to see those two. But that was just a little fact I wanted to pass on. If we're going to have a black majority rule someday, that's going to be a stat that's going to live with us.
You know, that reminds me of this thing that I saw in the news. Mark Zuckerberg, you know, that do-gooder. He's not a Christian, but he wanted to found this school. Meta CEO, Facebook CEO, Mark Zuckerberg and his wife, Priscilla Chan, opened a tuition-free school for low-income families, so-called, in the Bay Area. If they were families, they probably wouldn't be low-income. In 2016, last week, in 2025, the primary school announced they will close at the end of the 2025 to 2026 school year. Parents told that Chan Zuckerberg Initiative, the couple's philanthropy, pulled its funding. So investing, quote unquote, money in the kids, in the poor kids, it's not a good investment. You can't throw money. No amount of money is going to solve the problem for these quote unquote poor kids.
Well, it's the same thing with the money given to these third world countries and the billions of foreign aid that we give. We're not making them our equals by giving them our money any more than we're making them our equals by allowing them to flood in, vote Democrat when they finally get the chance, commit crimes against Americans. And now this is the other reason I called Hake to lead up to this. These two judges that were arrested, one in, I think it was Minnesota, I think.
Oh, stay close to your phone so you come through clearly.
Sorry. The one that they arrested in Wisconsin and one in Minnesota, they were actually harboring Trendaliagua members.
Yeah, I heard about one who had them in her or his like guest house. And then there was another one?
I think, a woman, judge, nasty looking thing. She wasn't putting him in her house, but she was letting him out the back door of the courthouse.
Oh my gosh.
ICE agents came in to arrest the illegal that she was protecting by shielding him, which is a felony, from ICE. So she's under arrest. And the Democrats and the white haters are going nuts, man. We're finally bringing some of these justices to justice. The Democrats used to say no one's above the law when they were persecuting Trump.
Yeah.
But apparently they think judges are.
Right.
And I would love to see this Brosberg in jail, in cuffs, and taken in. None of these judges have any right, and I challenge anyone in the audience to disagree, to overrule the president. The president has executive power. These same judges in these same courts didn't do anything to stop the invasion under Biden. They didn't put out any nationwide injunctions, which, by the way, are unconstitutional. There's no way that could be constitutional. There's nowhere in the Constitution that allows for that. These federal judges are tyrants, white-hating. To put Trendaliagua in your home to protect them from ICE is treason to me. Okay, I mean, it can't get any worse than that.
Yeah.
And these are the kind of characters that are on the judiciary. I think Biden appointed over two. I'm not going to, I can't stand by these facts completely, but I believe I read over 200 federal judgeships were appointed by Biden in his 4 years. And Biden said this himself, to stop the Trump agenda should he win. And that's exactly what they're doing.
Nice.
There's got to be a break here. They had Tom Homan, who I love, on a channel today talking about what's going on. And I mean, I'm happy with what he's doing, but he said total number of deportees under Trump is about less than 150,000. When you consider 10 million of those roaches came over, that's a drop in the bucket. Now, we don't know how many have self-deported or in custody, but with so many judges ruling and blocking Trump every which way, that number should be 3 times as much.
Yeah.
So, we'll see what happens in the midterms and what's going to happen. I hope Congress can overturn these judges and make it so that they don't have the power for a nationwide injunction. And one other thing in regards to the judges, over the years, there have been other cases, because I follow this stuff, where corrupt judges, have allowed illegals to escape out the back door when ICE is in the courtroom.
That's crazy.
Which they have a right to be. They have a right to be there. They have a right to arrest the man. And what the judge did was just as much a crime as if she had smuggled those demons in.
Terrible.
Okay? And they never prosecute them. But now with Pam Bondi, what do you call it? The time hasn't run out yet on their crime, so they can still be prosecuted. The statute of limitations on their crimes that allow the illegals to escape justice, that hasn't run out yet. And I've heard of other cases where judges in their courtrooms have protected illegals.
That's crazy.
Well, they're traitors. I mean, they're downright traitors.
Yep.
And the Democrats have found a way to destroy America without holding political power, and that's the judiciary.
Wow.
So, something to think about. It's not a pleasant thought. Hopefully, I know God is on Trump's side. God has got Trump through all the lawfare. When they were persecuting him over the years, Biden was in office. He managed to get through that.
Yeah.
I believe he's going to get through this. I believe that these judges will be overturned and mass deportation, every white man's dream, may come true. Because any white man who supports these criminals being here, should just resign or, from the race or kill himself, whatever. Okay, sorry, I went too far there. But any white man who supports this invasion is a traitor anyway. So if the more of these people we can get out, the less voting power the Democrats will have. And by the way, all this supporting of illegals, Van Hollen going to El Salvador, that's only making them look worse.
Yeah.
It's not getting any support.
I've heard that Trump is actually, people really support deporting the illegals. All of them.
Not just the criminals.
Yeah.
Just all of them.
Yep. And I heard that on CNN of all places. Well, CNN clip.
Well, yeah. CNN has that one conservative man now. I forgot his name. I love the guy. Scott Jennings, I think is his name. He's real good. But CNN had to make a concession because they were losing ratings. They got sued by Trump. Hopefully they'll go out of business. So they had to make some concessions and put on a token conservative. But do you ever notice, if you watch that show, that the black woman, Abby Phillips, I think is her name, she constantly interrupts.
I don't watch it, but I'm not surprised. It sounds like a entitled black gal to interrupt like that.
Yes, but Scott still gets the point through.
Good for him.
And that's the important thing. So
nice.
There was a third point I wanted to make. Let's skip my mind. Anyway, great show. Keep up the good work, and I'll be listening in and calling.
All right, man. Appreciate
Thank you. Hey.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Mark in Los Angeles. A few super chats before I get back to the calls, guys. Hang on. Appreciate ya. It's, I would be remiss, and I don't want to be remiss. So over here, ego is real. I don't know if I read this one. Did I say Hake? Did I read these? Yeah, I read the one from Chris. And Hake, Chris, there's a couple from Chris, and I'm not sure if I read this one. Hake, do not go black. You'll never go back. I can see it now. Hake with a do-rag. Oh, yeah, I did read that. That's right. Air Force Ones, which is shoes, and no belt. Jesse would have to fire you because you'd never be on time. Ego is real. Which is more scandalous? Trump halting taxpayer funding of universities due to anti-Semitism? All one word, no hyphen, to make it seem real. They're trying to change your language. It didn't even exist before. And then they put anti-hyphen capital S Semitism. And now they're putting it all in one word. And that is victim activist driven, by the way. Or that $2 trillion in debt is due to taxpayers having funded private, supposedly non-profit universities for rich frat boys for decades. Wow, what a mess. And part of that was to take away the universities from the beautiful rich frat boys, or handsome, whatever, and give it to outsiders who don't belong there, if you know what I mean. That funding. What a mess. Which is more scandalous? I think that it's scandalous that we're funding those universities in the first place, which is a big part of why I'm happy that we're defunding them or freezing the funding. Trump is freezing the funding, right? It's Harvard University trying to be like, oh, you're violating our rights to free speech because you're not subsidizing us anymore. You getting free money from the government, federal grants, right? Isn't that free money? Granted, you're supposed to do something with the grants, and they do some stuff with the grants. Not a lot of good stuff, I dare say. Not that I know. We don't have to fund you. It's not taking away your freedom of speech. Look at all these other people getting their freedom of speech. All of a sudden, you're pretending that you care about freedom of speech when it's affecting you. Evil Harvard sickos. So I agree. I feel like you think ego is real, that it's worse that we're funding them for, and it's not just for rich frat boys. It's trying to make rich frat boys out of these, gals, right? Do gals go to Harvard too? And liberals and POCs and all that stuff. I'm not sure I like this rich frat boys smear. Not that I was ever in a fraternity, or I don't take it personally, of course. I'm not rich, and I'm not frat. I mean, I'm sort of rich. I'm sort of frat, but I'm not frat. I never want to go into these universities. Anyway, ego is real. Yeah, I think that's more scandalous. And it's not just the anti-Semitism stuff. It's also because they wouldn't get rid of DEI. Or, like CNN claims, audit the views of students and staff. I don't know what that means. I don't know where they're getting that. I'm not even concerned enough to look into it. But thank you. Little Rock, It Man, says, you were right, James. A rare time. Carolyn Bryant Dunham entered Gell 2 years ago yesterday. I think he means H-E double toothpicks. Rest in peace. Something. I don't know who that is, but rest in peace to that person. I agree, I guess. Yeah. I promised so-and-so I would take maybe one of my callers, that I would take a break from your show, so I will be around until the end of the month. He never called JLP, by the way, my caller. He called your show a few times and never got on air. Oh, okay. Well, thank you. James, you protecting people on my supers was mama. Had you said when I gave opinion about your callers, then they wouldn't be so confused as to why I furthermore don't like them. Nonetheless, it says something on those who defend evil and shut out, great hearing from Tony. Lastly, James Antonaki, please stop defending me hitting women and laughing about it. Your horns are showing. Hey, I shall stop defending Little Rocket Man hitting women and laughing about it. Oops, I'm laughing. My horns are showing. Devil! No, don't hit. Ladies, stop hitting. I do not defend women hitting. Or men hitting. Males. It's horrible. Keep them pithy, and I'll read them on air, and don't be promoting stuff. And we just try to, I'm not necessarily trying to, I like how you adopted the mama term. Nice. Shout out. All right. I got to get back to this stuff, but thank you guys for the super chats. I better check over on Streamlabs because I would be remiss. Were I to miss. I think we're fine. Thank you, Animus, as always. Supers. Very nice. Let me see. Cool. Okie dokie. We're approaching the bottom of the hour, bottom of the last hour here. Let me see if I can set the redirect to Joel Friday TV, who's going to be live coming up next. If you're watching on YouTube, you will have a link right to Why Christianity is the Answer by Joel Friday TV. Let me paste a link in there for you guys. CSAL wants me to dress up like Kanye for Halloween. I don't know if I would do it. I used India ink to dress up black before 20 years ago. 20 years ago I did that. And it was fun. It was cool. It was chill. But I found out that a lot of my friends, Mexican friends, do not like black people at their parties because of the presumptuousness that they sometimes have. You know what I mean? Anyway, shout out. I gotta get to Daniel in Texas on the line over here. Daniel, thank you for calling and holding, man. What's up? You're live.
Hey, James. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you about eating healthfully. I heard Robert said that I think I heard this correctly. He said he hopes you stop being fat. Is that what he said?
Stop. I think he said he hopes that I stop being fat.
Being fat?
I'm not sure what he meant, what he said.
I was going to ask, did you reference something about yourself being fat and then he was playing off that?
Maybe. Yeah, I might have said something odd.
Oh, okay.
I really don't know where it came from. I mean,
okay.
there's like a ongoing is Hake fat? Hake is fat thing going on right now. Hake's getting fatter. Hake's getting fat.
Okay.
So it might be that. Yeah. He said stop being fat. Stop being fat.
Yeah, he said I hope you stop being fat.
It's fair because there's really no excuse. I look at my parents. I look at my grandparents. I look at my siblings, my cousins. Nobody's fat. And so there's no reason to be fat. It's not like it's not like it's genetic. It's more just that it's trifling.
Well, what do you eat?
Too much.
Okay.
I have sometimes I'll have like a rock star or something in the morning.
Oh no, man! You got to stop that.
Yeah.
The rock star. Yeah.
Or Monster.
Dude, just kick all the energy drinks, all the sodas. Yeah, no.
What if it's sugar-free or low carb?
You can do sugar-free drinks. If it's that much of a problem. But
if what's that much of a problem? Staying awake?
Well, I don't know what your need for those energy drinks are. Whatever that need is, you might have to replace it with coffee or something.
Yeah. Or I could be like Joel and go like all natural.
Oh, I mean, is he drinking just water or what?
Yeah, he just drinks some water out of his fancy dancy water bottle. Doxed.
Okay.
Sorry, I didn't mean that, Joel. I just made that up. I'm just kidding, Joel.
He's gonna stab you in the heart.
No, he won't stab me. I'm just I don't need to tell his business that I don't need to tell his business that he has a water bottle.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So, all right, you got to kick the energy drinks. What else are you eating?
I'm eating just like whatever Mexican food and
like
apple,
restaurant?
banana.
Are you cooking for yourself, or
No,
you
I
go to
don't cook for
restaurant?
myself. No,
Why not?
Because I don't cook, but I don't necessarily. I
How
don't.
much is Jesse paying you, man? You get to go to restaurants all the time?
I don't go to restaurants. I may like pass by, order in, whatever.
You got to learn how to cook, man, because it'll save you money and you'll eat better.
Yeah, that's fair. I lived pretty well for years, never eating out, and I just had frozen like chicken that was already cooked,
No, man.
or deli meat, or whatever. What's wrong
You
with
gotta
that?
You got to cook from scratch. You can't be doing
No,
these TV dinners.
no, it's not TV dinner. It's
You're
just
talking about like frozen
a big
roasted
old
chicken or
bag,
something?
a big old bag of frozen bits, diced chicken or whatever.
That's already been cooked, right?
Yeah.
That's not good, man.
What's wrong with it?
You need to cook it from scratch because it's probably got preservatives in it.
No, it's frozen.
Okay, I'm skeptical.
Or it may have some preservatives, but if it's frozen, like what's wrong with preservatives anyway?
I just think that you could cook your own food, and if you wanted to store it for longer, if you cooked a large portion, you
Yeah,
could freeze
freeze
it
that.
yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you got to cook the energy drinks. You got to cook for yourself. Whole foods.
Dino nuggets. Oh my gosh, yeah, I used to have those too.
Yeah, no more bagel bites and dino nuggets.
I don't have bagel bites. What, you think I'm a child?
Well, I mean,
Although those are
yeah.
good. Yes.
Mr. I drink Monster energy drinks every morning, or Rockstar.
I mean, I try not to have the whole thing. I'll like have some of it and then I'll put it in the fridge. Because, yeah, I don't want to go overboard with that stuff.
You know what's funny? I know I'm saying these things to you, and I bet Joel's in the background like, man, you're wasting your breath.
Yeah, he's been telling me 10 years. Oh, man. But I'll have like an apple, a banana. I'll have like spinach, carrots. Linya and Chin told me to eat like cucumber, stuff like that. So I have my vegetables and stuff.
Okay.
And sometimes I'll make oatmeal and yogurt and things for myself, cold.
Yeah, I think you need to hone your cooking skills. I think you need to hone those so that you don't have to necessarily eat raw vegetables all the time. That you can put them in a pot and throw some rice in there and cook up something that'll keep you filled, but will keep you in a calorie deficit.
Oh, right.
And then you won't. And then when I forget when Robert from Canada, he'll be impressed with you.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I should be fit.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And I won't tell you what I'm eating because everybody's going to throw the rotten tomatoes at me if I told you the way I eat.
Is it bad or is it overly good?
For me, I think it's overly good. I think it may be excessively good.
Oh, okay.
But because I don't eat meat or dairy.
No meat, no dairy.
No meat, no dairy.
And by meat, not even fish or chicken.
Right. And what that has done is it's
no
forced
eggs.
me to. Right, no eggs. It's forced me to be more skilled at food preparation.
So you eat nuts and seeds and things like that for and beans?
Beans, occasionally rice, but I do a lot of I'll make a roux. I do a lot of Cajun style things.
Cajun?
And then Cajun. I do a lot with avocados. My biggest vices are probably white bread, white rice.
Okay.
But I try to do brown, grain, kind of grain bread and things like that. But I also try to follow the cost. So oftentimes that comes down to white bread.
Do you eat peanut butter?
No.
No?
Peanut butter is all it is plant based, but I don't eat peanut butter because of the sugar. It's got a lot of sugar.
Not always.
I stay away from it. I try to make things from scratch.
I thought that peanut butter was just peanuts and sometimes salt, not sugar.
It's got it typically has a lot of sugar.
Is it naturally occurring, or do they add the sugar?
They usually add the sugar.
Oh, I'd never heard about that.
Yeah, but because I cook things from scratch, I don't get into peanut butter, making things that complicated.
And you're fit, right? And you run?
Yes. And I lift. I'm about 175 pounds, and I can lift, multiple reps, 225. I'm all right.
Do you mind doxing your height?
5'10".
5'10", 175, strong, lean. That's pretty good.
And vegan.
And vegan. Yeah, some vegan people make it work. And by vegan, you don't do that imitation meat mess, do you?
No.
Okay,
no.
Good.
Because you don't have to.
Right. It's gross anyway.
Yeah,
to me,
it's vegan junk food.
Yeah.
And sodium is a big problem.
How long you been? How long you been like this?
Not that long.
Just a year or two or 5?
Yeah. No, not that long.
Okay.
Not even that long. But I've been health conscious for a long, long time.
Nice.
But the plant-based thing is fairly recent. I had been a vegan for a couple of years, about 5 years ago, 6 years ago. Do you notice you notice a positive difference big time? Yeah, I do. I noticed that it is very hard for me to lose weight if I don't control my meat intake. It's very hard for me to lose weight. I gain excess weight.
Oh, okay, so you've gotten fat before, like me, like I have.
I got my version of fat, yes.
Okay.
Yes, and the only way to stop it was to fast, and by fast I mean like eating for a couple of days, as I figure out what I am going to do to control the excess weight. And what that does is forces me to eat things from scratch as I figure out how to prepare them into meals that will sustain me. It forces you to learn how to cook. That's what it does.
Okay, and last question, I think. Do you get a lot of gas?
If you eat beans that are not cooked all the way, very easily you'll get gassy.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, if they're not prepared all the way, if they're not thoroughly rinsed and soaked, beans will be a big problem.
You eat broccoli and vegetables?
Yeah.
A lot of vegetables?
Yes.
Nice.
Yes.
Cool.
And you learn every individual flavor of the vegetable. So you understand what makes, junk food taste so good when you break it all down.
Yeah, the subtle flavors of normal, healthful food is kind of cool.
Right. Like typically people don't eat things like when they're eating meat or dairy, it's usually flavored in a certain way. You just have to find what those flavors are.
Okay. Nice.
But anyway, I hope you stop being fat.
Thanks, man. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate you.
Anytime.
Thanks, man. Take care. Bye.
Bye.
And Jaime, speaking of health, in Minnesota, he's back on, ready to go, I think. What's up, Jaime?
Hey, how's it going?
Going well. Thanks for calling back.
Yeah, no problem. Hey, I wouldn't accuse any of the JLP crew of being fit.
You wouldn't accuse any of us of being fit?
No. You guys are what's called skinny fat.
Wow.
Yeah,
right. I've heard of that. Yep. That's
you don't look obese or anything, but you don't have muscle.
Right. Not even Joel Friday or JLP?
You can't get muscle from dancing.
I know, but that's not all he does. He exercises.
You get endurance.
Huh? No, but okay, so you can't see the muscle on Joel Friday?
I wouldn't call him. He's skinny fat. Skinny. He's skinny with a layer of fat called skinny fat.
I mean, he has a layer of fat on top of the muscle.
Yeah. But also, if Joel Friday, speaking of him, if he's just drinking water, he's doing some extra stuff too.
And I forget, are you fat or fit?
Oh, I'm fat.
Dang. But you're not skinny fat. Are you strong?
No, I'm not
Are you strong fat?
Oh yeah, muscular fat.
I'm
you
a
can
little
tell,
bit. This time for me, I'm a little bit fitter of a fat person than I was the last
good for you.
time, which is
that
better.
the Rhodesian bareback, nickelback guy that comes on your show
Ridgeback,
every once in a
man,
while?
Ridgeback.
Ridgeback. What'd I say? I said that.
Okay, yes.
That guy, he's fit. Okay, now imagine him, except with a lot of fat on him. That's me. You lose a lot of muscle, but
right
I was
on.
built like that.
Cool. That's good.
But now I'm fat because I haven't exercised. I got a kid. I got married. I stopped taking care of myself. Going to, all that. Focused more on work. Drank a ton of coffee. Ate a lot of crispy bars all day, every day.
Are you taller or shorter than average?
5'10".
Okay, taller than average.
So, so cortisol. I want to talk to you about cortisol.
Yeah, that's the dangerous drug that affects
It's
blacks.
a hormone.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a hormone.
So
from ages 0 to 12, it sets your baseline for your life. If you have a chaotic life, if you're always hungry, if you're always malnourished, that's what I mean by hungry. Not that you're eating full meals every day, but you're malnourished. You don't have your vitamins and minerals.
Okay.
And your parents are always yelling about this and that, and your dad ain't home, and your mom's going all crazy. It turns up your cortisol levels, your baseline. So when you wake up, you have a baseline of cortisol already flowing through your bloodstream. Okay?
Yeah.
The higher it is, the worse it is for you. When the cortisol hits your bloodstream, it goes to your brain, and it will turn. And if it gets high enough, it'll turn off your executive functions in your prefrontal cortex, the executive decision-making part of your brain, the part of your brain that think, oh, I got a life ahead of me, I shouldn't do this, I should do this instead, shuts off, and you're not thinking about it anymore. You're thinking about right now, fight or flight. Okay?
Yeah.
So that black boy, Carmelo, he, I guarantee you, has had a chaotic life, 0 to 12 years old, cortisol levels baseline high, very high. And you can test for that with saliva swabs, which, all this bogus stuff that they tell you about when they do the news gives you information.
Yeah.
Cortisol swipes should be part of it. They should tell you, hey, his cortisol levels was this high. It would help out a lot.
Because that
sparks. They don't give
that
you anywhere near
aggression.
Right. So when it spikes, your brain shuts off. That's what happened over there. Now with the white boy, if your cortisol levels are low,
I call him young man, the white young man.
Yeah, they're 17, right? They're boys.
No, they're young men. The 17 is a young man.
Well, we'll see how they try him as. If they try him as a child or if they try him as an adult.
Okay. But I don't care about I don't go by what the courts do. That's a bad way to go, you know what I mean? But anyway. But fair enough. You can call them boys.
Now, if you have a good life, a good home, it's more stable. Your cortisol levels, your baseline, are going to be low. So like you, I can tell that you've had a nice upbringing, and your cortisol levels are low because the way you talk and you're calm, your fight or flight doesn't go. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
A guy like some of your other callers, Mark, his cortisol levels were low today. You could tell.
Nice.
But if that one black guy called back, who was that guy from?
Never mind. But I know what you mean.
Right. His cortisol levels would get shot up if you trigger him. Cortisol is an ego-based hormone. So Carmelo, he had his ego hurt by the Anthony. What was that guy's name? The white guy.
Austin Metcalf.
Boy. He had his ego hurt by Metcalf. Cortisol shot up because his ego was hurt, and it was stab time because his brain shut off. And when people have a high cortisol, of a high baseline of cortisol, they move differently. And that's why, like what you say is like, oh, you shouldn't be around blacks, don't relax around them. And that's true of anybody with high cortisol. And it just so happens this day in life, blacks have extraordinarily high cortisol.
Right. All too
But
many.
not every black does.
Of course.
There are some, and it's not about the blacks. It's about everybody.
Yeah.
White, Chinese, Asian, anybody. You can tell if they have high cortisol. You got tattoos on your face, you probably have high cortisol because your brain's shut down. You don't think ahead.
Yeah.
Okay? And there are clues. But the white kid, his dad, instead of being all forgiving and stuff, he should have taught his kids this. Watch out around high cortisol people. Stay away from them.
Yeah.
You know?
Man, what a shame, huh?
But his dad probably has low cortisol.
Right.
But also,
which is too low.
Testosterone.
Yeah.
Now, if you have low testosterone and low cortisol, you're pushover. Anybody can walk over you.
They finally have a Wikipedia page on this. The killing of Austin Metcalf. April 2nd. 17-year-old Austin Metcalf, American student, Memorial High School, fatally stabbed attending a high school track meet in Frisco, Tejas. Died of his injuries at the scene.
Now, some things that, if they really wanted to help high cortisol people, they'd give them supplements like ashwagandha root, L-theanine, and then the things that you talk about, like sleeping, but you need a lot of magnesium glycinate so that you can sleep better, get deeper sleep.
I don't know. I don't know about all that.
Well, of course you don't know. You don't know. Nobody taught you this.
Yeah.
I know you don't know. I'm telling you now so you can maybe wake up. Frankincense, myrrh, oils, that'll bring down your cortisol levels. But it's all about the hormones. You get what I'm saying?
It's an interesting point.
And that's what Jesus did. He healed people's hormones.
They won't name the accused in this Wikipedia page. They just call him the accused. Interestingly.
Yeah. Hey, Bitcoin is a financial product. It's what they want to do is get rid of central banks. There's 170 central banks in the world. America has 7 under the one federal. And the reason they wanted to do that is because governments, they force those central banks to print money. And they did it during Obama, Biden. They did it Trump and the Bushes.
Yeah.
Congress forces the Fed to print more money. And if you have a decentralized banking system like Bitcoin, nobody can cause it to inflate.
Okay.
The money supply doesn't inflate. It always comes out the same. So the only problem with that is if all the electricity goes away or if the internet's destroyed, you can't really use Bitcoin anymore.
Then we got problems, bud. And bigger problems than just your money. Interesting.
So if you...
I appreciate it.
If you believe in the future, then go Bitcoin because it's harder to use, though. You can't go down. I tried to pay for stuff over here with Bitcoin. Nobody wants it.
Yeah.
So.
Well, thank you, Jaime, in
right.
Minnesota. Appreciate it, man.
Bye.
All right.
You.
You too. Bye. And Joe in Phoenix, Arizona, not on the line here. Joe in Phoenix wanted to talk about wanted to talk about the whites moving into black neighborhoods. Wow. Are those the artists who start the so-called gentrification? We may never know. A quick super chat as I begin to wrap up over here on the Hake Report. I believe there's another one here from, come on. I believe that there was one that came in. Oh yeah, there's a couple. Ronnie from Ohio says, yo, hey, Ronnie. He has normal cortisol levels. If I'm understanding anything that Jaime is saying, and if Jaime is telling the truth, Jaime's on a cortisol kick. Yo, which person would you say is the poster child for DEI? Feel free to name more than one. Obama, Kamala, Biden, JFK, because he was Irish, right? He was Irish and Catholic. The best example of a DEI gone good, none other than our greatest justice, whatever his name is, Clarence Thomas, because that might have been by way of the spirit of affirmative action, but it actually worked out for the good, and he ended up being qualified better than all the rest. He's the best. Please don't spread rumors, says Little Rock, it man. To your remedial audience, Hake has remedial fitness levels. I gotta just build right back up and maybe ease up on some of those things. Good advice. Thank you, Daniel in Texas, and Robert in Kansas, and others. Please don't spread rumors that I would ever hit a woman. That's what you all would do. Says, you don't know. You're spreading rumors about us. We wouldn't hit women. I love when your callers take a break from being racist to criticize your body. What a great fan base. Eye roll, emoji. Please tell them a U.S. president can only serve 2 terms. You're smarter than they are, and they gain education from you. Laughing faces, tears, crying. Thank you to my fellow trolls and hate callers, as they call us. Giving education and calling out ignorance makes us troll. I miss y'all. Keep fighting. James, you stop calling me a snake. Did I call him a snake? That's terrible. I didn't call you a snake. I haven't called you a snake in forever. I call the snake pit snakes. These guys are snakes. I'm pointing at the snake pit. Or just admit you don't like me. I'd appreciate the honesty. I strongly dislike you, but only because you're dangerous to America. Why, you ask? Well, for one, 17 is a minor. I know, but it's a young man, and it's not. We're talking about the responsibility of a young man. We're not talking about having the S word. But if you have called one a tall glass of water, yeah, because I heard that in a Christian punk rock song about, oh, you're one tall guy. Sick. That's someone call Chris Hansen. That's your mind. What age do you see for adults? 18 plus for normal people. 4 thumbs down and a thumb in a weird part of a thumbs up in the weird part of the hand, which is probably not a thumb. Don't read that, kids. Scroll emoji, devil, ogre, troll emoji, and number 2. See, I'm the second best. Guys, I gotta wrap things up. Joel Friday TV is coming in here, and it's time for me to get on out of here. You know what I mean? So, I feel like it's Mary Rice Hopkins Monday, but I don't really have time for a long song, a full-length song. But we'll see what I can do. Bye, guys.
No one else I know walks like you, or talks like you, or looks like you. No one else I know is like you. No one else
does what you do.
Not all have your eyes or have your nose. If they can't wear your size, they don't fit in your clothes. If they don't have your face, then they don't have your smile or your laugh or your cute style.
It's Christian.
No one else I know walks like you, or talks like you, or looks like you. No one else I know is like you. No one else does what you do.
Mary Rice Hopkins.
No one has your walk or your knocking knees. No one has your talk or your funny sneeze. Some may have your taste, but not all are the
I gotta
same.
end it, guys.
They may share your
We gotta end early. Bye.
No one else I know walks like you,